fish films production. HMS Landrail. Let's look at how she was in times gone past, 1866. Landrail was one of two Curlew-class gun vessels, the other being HMS Curlew. They were 950 tons, 54 metres long, 8.5 metres wide and had a draught of 3.2 metres. They had sails and had two HC direct action 4-cylinder boilers, giving her 1500 horsepower with a maximum speed of 14.5 knots. 3 5-inch breech loading guns, 7 4.45 guns, 1 14-inch torpedo on the bow and a further 2 14-inch torpedoes through 4 ports, and a crew of 46. I think you would agree she was a well-armed vessel for such a small ship. The Curlew-class were what you might describe as an attempt to modernise the gun vessel, but as a result they fulfilled no real role in the Navy. They were not repeated and soon became obsolete. She was a motor torpedo boat. She now lays in around 31 metres of water off the Dorset coast at 50 degrees, 33 minutes, 74 seconds north, 2 degrees, 37 minutes, 51 seconds west. She sunk in 1906 in the process of being a target, having been towed from Sheerness to Portland to be a target. The tug Camel towed her out several miles into West Bay. She was moored fore and aft. The ships of the Channel Fleet were then anchored in 2 long lines either side of the Landrail. Distance between the lines was 2 miles. HMS Exmouth, Caesar, Albemarle and Triumph all steamed off 4 miles and commenced to fire on the target, giving the other vessels an excellent view of the proceeding. Both 6 and 12-inch guns were fired at Landrail, and looking at the stern today, clearly one of the 12-inch shells made a massive mess. She was then being towed back to Portland. Halfway across the bay, she commenced to settle, heeling over and sank in deep water. Her crew was saved except for one signalman, Leonard Wardley. The firing practice in fact only lasted 8 to 10 minutes. The wreck now lies in around 31 metres, orientated north-south. Considering HMS Landrail has been on the bottom 117 years, she's in remarkable condition. She is very recognisably a ship. You can see from the metal structures she was a twin-hull ship with metal space-framed ribs. Some 35 years ago, I made a promise to an old friend, Cyril Wesencraft. He served in the Royal Navy in World War II, latterly on MTBs. I promised I'd scatter his ashes in the Channel with his comrades. Today I fulfilled that promise. I believe it's rather fitting he lays to rest on an old MTB. Today, Landrail is home to vast quantities of marine life, again fulfilling the promise structure gives that life. The main deck heading towards the stern, a hatch where sailors once hurried below. It's absolutely amazing how everything is covered in life. There was large family groups of these white anemones all over the wreck, grouped together in maybe 20 or 30 individuals. We're now on the port side, heading towards the stern. As you can see, the structure of the wreck here is extensive, but sadly is losing its cladding plates. However, this provides opportunities for life to take over, and hasn't it just? Again, the white anemones in absolute profusion as we round this bit of the structure. This is where the stern would have been. Hit by a 10-inch shell, you can see why HMS Landrail sank so quickly and definitely on its return to port. Even a stern blasted away provides hull and opportunity. All these small bib and a huge conger eel hiding and waiting for its opportunity. Laying in wait, sometimes for divers, pays off. Their lights light up the blasted superstructure of the stern, a jumble of steel girders and plates, all providing homes for small fish and other organisms. Heading back towards the bow from the stern, we see other divers in our group. It's noteworthy, the perfect tide condition, slack water where effectively there is no tide at all. It's easy to tour the wreck and discover its delights. There is very little machinery, such as the engine. It's not surprising machinery would have been very valuable and was often removed to fit in other ships. As often does, fishermen try to fish the wrecks with nets. This one clearly abandoned as it was stuck underneath the wreck. I've reported this to Ghost Net Crew and the fishing pots on the stern. With luck they will be removed soon, and this will stop the indiscriminate killing of sea creatures who inadvertently get caught in the nets. We are now in the middle of the ship. This manual capstan winch is a throwback to the sailing era, when sails and cranes were all worked manually by the sailors on board. This one was possibly used for lifting torpedoes and ammunition onto the ship just before it set sail on its missions. Back heading along the starboard side towards the bow, we can see here the collapsed sides of the ship, usually caused by winter wave action and age, both of which this wreck are subject to, as it's in an open position in full force of the southwesterly winds in winter. You may remember the photos at the start of this film and the rather handsome funnel. This is today collapsed from the middle of the wreck, but again providing shelter and homes to fish and other organisms. The bow is broken off from the main body of the wreck and has tipped over onto its starboard side, with the pointy bit of the ship hitting into the sand. You can see it's today a quiet torpedo tube, hole in the bow, and some of the largest pollock I've ever seen in all my years of diving. It is quite dark and foreboding. All too soon it's time to leave and carry out our decompression, followed by our safety stops, all designed to reduce our risk of decompression sickness, or bends as it's more commonly known. As you can see, Les is quite pleased to be finished his decompression and on his way back to the relative safety of the boat.